Carol said.
They're behind the house in the den.
Where did you put that heron
And
statue?
Judy's box, I think it's Judy's.
Where's the damn blue heron in his pond?
Yeah.
It was real.
Because they're
Yeah, he's eating his fish.
That's down in the basement.
This is right here? No, I was in one of the California.
That's right. You wouldn't be the heron.
Well, we went through experimental turtle phase here. Yeah. But well, because the turtle wants to eat all the lilies and so I had the turtle lasted for about a month and a half. Because I deal with any more turtles equally flat. So I take the turtle back to my house. It's not very good. I mean, I have some at my house that's been in there for like 25 years. It's big. No, I find them wandering around the backyard. They know the way to get back to get in the water.
Unless they end up in the window well.
Unless they end up in the window well. But I've had 50-pound tortoises end up in the window well too.
I think they are. They've started color, like some of them already started yellowing up.
He is. He's a whole different than the rest. Yes. But all the others are showing along their lateral lines and stuff. Some gold starting to pick up now.
That was another thing that happened. I think the first year we were here, when we took the net off, we were cleaning it for the first time, and Edison goes, "I think there's some babies in there."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh," and yeah, I called Carrie, and I was like, "What do we do?" And there was a
Yes.
lot. Some of them, I think some of them had definitely.
Oh, there's twice as many as what's left.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
was gonna
natural
say-
selection.
Oh.
They don't all make it.
So it wasn't planned to have extra fish, like one of the fish just had babies.
Yeah. So all the dark ones were a bonus.
This is fantastic.
Lilies and so I had the turtle lasted for about a month and a half. Because I deal with any more turtles equally flat.
Seems like it's probably about time to talk about Carol a little bit. And I have one sentence I want to start off with, and if you agree with me, let me know. Carol is awesome. Woo! And we have some of her family here today. Her brother John Sullivan and Libby and Becky File.
Yes.
Where are you girls? Where are you?
Might be inside. They're behind.
They're inside. Okay.
I'll go grab them.
Yep. Okay, and then thanks to everybody who helped organize the picnic, and Sam Malonis for the video he
Yes.
put out the other day, and all these nice pictures. Good old Sam, and he cooked.
Yeah. And the posters.
Couldn't cook and play the piano at the same time. Okay, here's Libby and Becky File, and Libby's been with me all week, helping us get Carol's affairs in order. She's been awesome,
Yes.
and her sister's awesome too, Becky. So, I just want to say that Carol was just so dear to all of us. Probably anybody who wants to speak, we're doing a video of the speeches, and we're probably going to hear the same things. She's just such a good-hearted person, so loving and so friendly, that we're just all going to miss her dearly. So I would like. Okay, so I'd like whoever wants to get up next, come on up. If you want to stay seated, we can bring a microphone to you. But if you want to be on the video, we're going to kind of have it fixed over here. maybe Carrie would like to come say a word. Carrie's been a rock through this. You wouldn't believe it. He was with Carol from the time she went into the hospital, shortly after, and just until the end. Okay.
Carrie's gonna read the obituary and then say,
Carol Scott Sullivan died August 31st, 2024, in Murray, Utah, surrounded by her loving friends. She was born April 29th, 1943, in Oceanside, New York, to Arthur and Laura McKay Sullivan. On January 1st, 1991, in Reno, Nevada, she married Lance Edward File to love her for life, and they were happily married, best friends and partners in crime, was the best part of this whole thing. Because some things we were questionable. Partners in crime until his death on July 21st, 2016. Carol was a graduate of the University of Maryland and spent most of her career with Chevron. A witty, fiercely intelligent, kind, and generous person, she had lived in multiple states and maintained deep connections with friends all over. She lived most recently in the place that she loved the most, Salt Lake City. In addition to her husband Lance, she was preceded in death by her parents and her older brother Arthur Sullivan of Texas. She is survived by her twin brother John, who's here, and you said I can't remember that I've met you before, but we both felt like we were, and that could be just from the stories Carol told of us. John Sullivan of California, sister-in-law Janet File of California, nephew and nieces Todd Sullivan and his wife Charlene of Texas, Myra Sullivan of Spain, Libby File, Indiana?
Sorry?
Weird. And Becky File of California. Well, now I understand.
right?
And the late Bobby Brown's family, who had become Lance and Carol's family as well, and the numerous cousins. She is also mourned by a large network of friends. In lieu of flowers and donations, there was the Dolphin Club to donate to. I did have the opportunity to be with Carol almost every week in this beautiful yard, taking care of things that she felt was important. Some of it didn't need to happen. But I did get that honor and opportunity, and she always kept Lance and Bob Brown alive to all of us. She told me in the ER before the meds got real heavy, which we needed to do, that she was quite sure Lance and Bob were up there trying to figure out anything they could to keep her here. They didn't need anybody telling them what to do again. And I whispered in her ear shortly before she passed that she needed to get the hell up there and straighten things up. So, no, Carol, her last, I can tell you her last thoughts of concern, which should have been directed in her direction because of the choices that her and I had to make. Her feelings were turned outward again. And I kept having to say, Carol, this is Carol time. We don't worry about that right now. This is Carol time. What is Carol time going to do? And if you can't come up with then I'm going to come up with Carol time while we're here. Awesome conversations. Some of her awesome memories that she remembered. And I just realized how blessed that I was that I was actually there to get to talk to her when she could answer one of my questions, and we could go from there. So, hey, we wouldn't all be here if it wasn't for her heart and her generosity. If there's one thing she did teach me, I mean, there's a lot of things in life that can go wrong, and honestly, there are some that do, but too many people don't pay attention to all the good things. They put too much emphasis on the stuff that really doesn't matter, and that's when we're not feeling very good. We need to remember when we're feeling real good about what's going on. Anybody like to come up and share it with everybody?
Good job, Craig.
Just want to say how much Bob and I loved Carol and took so many great, fun, wonderful trips with her. Bob is the executor, so she trusted him with her life, and we appreciate all your help. Yeah, Carol always just thought about everybody first, and her perspective was, you know, you can't change your circumstances, but you can change your perspective. You can look at things in a different way. And we had kind of a standing breakfast every couple of weeks, and you know, I look forward to that, and I'm really going to miss that a lot. And she was great to our kids and great to everybody's kids. What an amazing, amazing person. We love you, Carol.
Yes.
Girls.
So I'm Libby File. Lance, my dad was Uncle Lance's brother. So I met Aunt Carol in 1980, about 1979, 1980, when they started dating, and then they got married. And I remember thinking, I was about 10 at the time. I remember thinking, I'm too old to have a new aunt. Like, I'm not going to call this person Aunt Carol, and and I was sort of determined to not like her. And as you can imagine, that lasted, like, I don't know, maybe 6 months or something, because she was just so wonderful, you couldn't help but like her. And, of course, I'm really glad that, can't look at my sister, I'm going to start crying. Of course, just so glad to have had her in our lives, because she was just a blessing. And I remember I talked to her on the phone about a month before she died. And, of course, she signed off, as she always did, by saying goodbye, dear heart. And I'll always remember that she used that language. And I'm so glad I got to talk to her and hear that. And that's how I always think of her. She really was a dear heart.
Thanks, Libby. Johnny, could I get the mic if you would help me?
I think it should transmit too.
Okay, Johnny, here's a...
We have two?
Oh, we have two. Okay.
So we can sing duet.
He's only got one arm, though. One good arm.
Hi everyone, I'm sure glad to be here and help you celebrate a wonderful woman who has left us. I wrote some words here and I'd like to read them. My dear sister Carol has died. Now it's always cold outside. My sister Carol has died. I can't abide it. I've lost my stride. I cried myself to sleep, to weep the tears of the lost, because I am, never again to see her engulfing smile. Engaged always with giving, she never cared much about getting. That defined Carol. Her generosity engendered warm emotions. Without any commotion, she gave herself to support all about her. She never deferred to help others, especially her sometimes wayward brother. She was supreme at forgiving most transgressions. Possession of purity of heart is rare. Dearest Carol continued to care. She had a flair for feeling, for reading between the lines. Her sensitivity was truly refined. It's a sublime quality. Frivolity also followed her around. With Lance File, her dedicated longtime beau, They would throw themselves into play, party long into the day and night. Both successful professionally, they had the means to enjoy themselves. And they did. Changing scenes was fulfilling. Carol and Lance were always willing to expand their lives. So they thrived. Were happy to be alive. Their mutual feelings were obvious to Venus, goddess of love. Looking down from above, Carol became a part of his Utah family. She eagerly arrived. With Lance's pal, Bobby Brown, she learned about Utah's renown and amazing beauty. She loved limestone formations that are surely God's creation. From eons ago, the slow erosion created an explosion of color and shape. So unique in her experience, she sometimes felt delirious. It's a little exaggeration. She sometimes felt delirious. I was looking for a rhyme. Gazing at the eternal splendor. I'll always remember her happily relating how elevating it was to view these marvelous mountains. Fountains of fecundity, inspirational to all mere mortals. Utah, a portal to such exceptional sights. Light so bright. Carol and Lance danced to Utah's primal and pristine beauty. They four-wheeled all over to explore, to open the door to adventure and pleasure. It was their best time together. I will forever appreciate their bond. They were so fond of each other. They responded to their lives together as an affirmation of love. Now above, they roam the universe free. I miss my sister dearly every day. I don't much pray, and there isn't much else to say. I love you, Carol, dearest. Memories of you are nearest to my heart. They will be forever. I have some copies of that here if somebody would like to take them.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I'm Mike Tucker, Dave Tuckett's brother, which is an honor, by the way. It's been almost 30 years since my little brother called me up and said, "Hey, Mike, meet me in San Francisco. We're going to run the Beta Breakers, and we got to meet at Lance and Carol's house." And I said, "Who's Lance and Carol?" And so we did all the flights. I came up from Southern California, and I think it was a Friday night, wasn't it, Dave? You don't remember, do you? No. But anyway, they lived. Lance and Carol lived over in the Bay at this cool little house, not unlike this one, I might add. And I walked in through the front door, and of course, this is Carol. She was the delight, and as usual, the only gal there among about, I don't know, 6 to 10 people maybe, Dave? I can't remember that far with her. But anyway, well, Lance says, "Let's go hop in the hop tub." And so I didn't know what to do, but I just followed along. And there is Lance with his long hair at that time and a full beard, skinny and naked as a rail. And of course, I guess, I don't know if we participated or not, did we, Dave? We wouldn't want these people to know, would we? I know. But anyway, this started a great relationship. I love him to death. But anyway, Lance and Carol, through the years, of course, all our relationships grew, and oh gosh, we've been through all sorts of things together and separate. Carol and my wife my Carol and I went to Alaska with Lance and Carol, and hardly remember that, do we? It was a lot of fun. Oh, me? No. Not with Lance around. But anyway, I've thought a lot about this, and I have to share with you also that I talked to Carol a week ago Friday, and she was kind enough to call me, and inquired about how Carol was doing, my Carol, and we had to catch up and so forth, and spent about 10 minutes on the phone, and she said, well, I've got to go to lunch or brunch with Adrian, and so let's try to get together when I get back from Houston, because she was planning on going to Houston to work on her brother's stuff, that he passed. Well, we left at that, and next thing I know, said goodbye, and Friday I had a breakfast meeting in the morning with Sam, our Sam. Saturday. Thank you. I had it all written down. So anyway, Sam gets a phone call from Jane, and Jane breaks the news to Sam. We briefly both talked to Jane, and we just couldn't believe what had happened, what had transpired in that such a short time. That so everybody knows what happened from there on. That she was gone Saturday night. It was just unbelievable to everybody, and I'm sure it's a shock to every one of you. But I think the essence of Carol and Lance was they made each of us feel like we were their best friends. And set an example of what we've got to do. That's all.
She's going.
Yeah.
After the elite run.
That's right.
Then we jump in.
So you have to do that. Anyways, Bob, he would tell stories, but I have to tell you, Carol, I have one daughter, and I said Carol had passed away, and she said, she was just a kind lady, and she really didn't ever see her very often, but both Lance and Carol were always really interested in my family, which I had loved them. But she was darling, and she had a flair. I mean, you could see her house. She was always dressed great, but mostly I think she was just interested in other people. Probably why she did so well in life, because she took an interest in other people. We all loved her for that.
We're talking about Carol's life. When she needed to make an important decision about that life, her comments to me and the look on her face was, Carrie, I lived my best life, and I'm going to leave that way. And I supported her 100%. And again, because I'm afraid some of my family and friends might not understand why I didn't want to fight. I said, that's impossible. That's an impossible thing. Again, so worried about everybody else. Then when she absolutely made the right choice, her terms. And I support that. I love that. It was on her terms. Anybody else think they might want to Now, I know there's been, throughout the last 3 or 4 days or so, a slight reference to maybe an alcoholic beverage or two. So, I'm sure there are enough people here that have done a shot with Lance and Carol at our different holidays and stuff, gatherings. And my family, we want to do a ceremonial shot for Lance and Bob and Carol. And the act of the shot is taking something out of that little shot glass. It could be apple juice, it can be lemonade, it could be cranberry juice, it could be water. It's the loving thought behind the tradition that was participated in. So, we got enough shot glasses for everyone. We don't have to card the young ones, but you are getting the lemonade. And I'd like to do a ceremonial shot for those 3 people that touched all of our lives, and basically Carol kept Lance and Bob in line. And so if I come around, you want to take a shot, take a glass. If you want to pour some of your Sprite, root beer, whatever in the glass when we do it. But I will be doing tequila, and it's in the garage. Okay? Come on, you can take a shot of water.
Okay.
You got it? We're good?
Last call for tequila.
Okay. Well, here's to Bob Brown, Lance File, and Carol Sullivan. May we live a life that we can be as proud of as they were of theirs. And may we be worthy of their friendship that we had and carry on with the things that they would be doing.
Yay!
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir, I'll have another.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you,
Thank you, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Adrian. I can't see. I see a thumb.
Oh, I had my thumb on.
I see
Yeah.
them.
Yay, Sarah. It's because I was driving the bus.
You made it work.
Hey, there's Sam. Sarah gave you great compliments. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Sam. I hope that I can say what I just said at the end.
Yeah.
Hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna carry the glorious smile as my memory of Carol, and you, Sam, made it even special because I can see over and over this beautiful Carol music video where you captured all those wonderful moments.
Oh, happy to do it.
It was wonderful, wonderful. The music is wonderful. You guys are wonderful. I'm so glad I got to meet you.
Okay, Sarah. Hey, I'm gonna go have a shot of tequila. Or maybe
You gonna
lemonade.
rap? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.